then we do need to add, so we're gonna move that up to right after setting the agenda. And then under new business, we need to set when we're going to be doing our meetings, cause, yeah, cause under our bylaws, we had some that we would set our meeting dates, what worked best with the 5 members each year, rather than having, you know, you get on and you have to just move your life around. It's, the 5 of us will have input, so. So we'll put that under new business and move the election of officers up to E. I'm gonna change all those other numbers. And take a motion to do that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Alrighty, so we will open them for, it's kind of strange to, usually we have somebody to do that, you know, pass it on to somebody, so we'll open it up for, chair, so.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. Like I said, I did it for a long time. I know how we gotta do it. I mean,
I have no problem with somebody who knows what they're doing to do it, so.
I was gonna say Nick, cause he already did it anyway, so.
Right,
so now you can, so.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
yeah, and I'm already the chair for the county one, so I kinda wanted
Right.
to stay out of doing that dual role, so. So somebody wanna make,
I'll make the motion that we put Nick as chair.
I'll second it.
any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, and you can take over
Okay.
and move on for our other offices.
Right. So, vice chair. Who would be wanting to do that?
I personally think Jason should do it. He's the one that, he's on the,
He can't.
You can't.
I can't.
No.
He's
You
a-
can't?
He's a, tra-
No,
he's, what he
I'm
is,
he's a
just chair,
trustee.
right?
he's the
Yeah.
liaison from the board to the commission. He can't have any actual seat on the commission.
okay,
He's the kind of the person that goes between us and the board.
I'm the floater.
Yeah.
gotcha, okay. I'm up to date now. What exactly does a vice chair do?
Just fill in if the chair can't be here.
You just talk for him when he's unavailable.
Mhm.
So you basically run the show.
Oh, I'm good at that.
So I mean,
I'm healthy now, so I mean,
Is it something you might wanna do, or?
yeah, I'm going to.
All right,
does anybody, Mary, you don't,
it doesn't matter to me.
okay.
I mean, yeah, I just didn't wanna do chair because of the
Right.
conflict.
Yeah, like that, yeah, no.
And not doing vice would break my heart either, so, all right, I'll make that motion for Star.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
Oh, I'm saying aye.
Yeah, it's unanimous, yeah. Secretary. Who's good with a pen? So basically,
I don't mind doing it if you already got your hands full with other stuff.
so
That would
basically
be
what you would
good.
do, Doug,
If you could.
would
I know what I'm
be
doing. but I
take
can-
minutes basically,
I can handle
and then write a report basically and send it to Bob, what we discussed, all that. Basically, this.
it.
And
Okay.
just give Bob the highlights of what we talked about.
That's
It's real
good.
simple.
I can do that.
I'll make a motion.
1 second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's done.
All right.
So you guys start taking minutes, that big guy. You got a notebook?
Back to this page
I still
right here.
reserve the right to get a hold of Mary when I don't understand something.
Hey, go to the back. That's Taylor's A&P book. I just stole it. So if you ever need A&P stuff. Okay.
Got it.
But what are these sketches in here though?
Yeah. I think I got her for A&P. Anyway. Moving
I just put under new business for the new date for our
Okay,
meetings.
so let's talk about that.
Okay.
When does the board have their meeting?
Okay,
Is it
so
the
our
second
meeting,
Tuesday?
it's the second Tuesday.
Okay,
So what we were talking about was either the first Thursday or the fourth Tuesday.
right. That makes the most sense. So that way we don't have it
Correct.
the third week, and then if anything happens, we gotta wait a month to get anything done and
Correct.
blah, blah, blah. I think that's the way we used to do it.
It was the first Tuesday.
Was it the first Tuesday? I mean, it doesn't matter to me as long as we don't go the week after the board meeting, you know?
Right.
And I think we moved it because the first Tuesday was not giving enough time to get it, something in the board packet
Right.
if it needed to be. The fourth Tuesday would give 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
The first Thursday would not give enough time. Cause Bob, I don't know if you saw his little note here, he's now gonna be in Filer on Thursdays. So he could stop here on his way home, do a meeting any Thursday, but he's not available the first or third Tuesday of the month now. And the board meets the second, so it would,
It is nice having Bob here.
yeah,
And if we wanna do fourth Tuesday, it would either be the fourth Tuesday or the fourth Thursday, is kinda what I'm hearing.
mhm.
Is that word?
the fourth Tuesday or Thursday?
Right. So I think if we do it this Thursday before the meeting, the board meeting, I don't think gives them enough time to really,
Right,
you know what I'm saying, get everything through and gotta get everybody on board or talk to everybody, you know, all that stuff.
Well, if we had to pick, I would have to say, fourth Tuesday, cause that's the day that Bob's here.
right.
Oh,
Yeah, that he's part
I
of.
said any Thursday, if, I said
Yeah.
here, any Thursday.
Right.
So Tuesday or Thursday, oh, he's in the office.
He's
on
in the
Tuesday.
office on Tuesdays, so
That would make sense.
Yeah,
that way he ends up making a special trip here just for the,
and that,
Anybody-
yeah,
you
and
don't-
he's
we-
already doing our business that day.
You don't have anything going on Tuesdays that you're scheduled for, do you?
No, Tuesdays are easy. I mean,
Okay.
All I have is the fire stuff, but it's not like that's moving along right now anyway, so I'm good.
Do we wanna keep them at 6?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Is that-
Through the summer, yes, but once school starts again, we might have to push it back a half hour.
To like
Like
6:30.
6:30.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right, you drive bus, don't you?
I do,
Yeah.
and my boss is retiring and I'm up for her position, so I wouldn't be able to leave until the last bus is back.
Okay.
Well, you're doing the control now?
I'm gonna try.
Oh, boy.
So we're thinking
Fourth
fourth
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Fourth
I'll
Tuesday,
make a motion that we switch our meetings to the fourth Tuesday of the month,
Yep.
yep, that's fine.
6
6,
For now, we can adjust
6 p.m.
Adjust. Okay.
later. I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Oh,
I,
Pass unanimous. You're not, I don't know why I keep looking at you to write stuff. You'd be looking over there.
well, Jason's writing stuff so that he
Yeah,
remembers
so I
hear
what
the
to
meeting.
tell.
Yeah, my mind just, if I don't write it down, it goes in one ear and out the other, I'm being honest, it just,
I'm a sticky note queen. I got sticky notes all over my bus, all over everything. Take them down as I get it done.
So, looks like the only thing we got really left on.
While we're-
Yes, sir.
while we're on this real quick, do we know what months we're meeting?
We did not talk about changing that at all.
Okay,
Why
Um,
don't we meet in the winter months?
Basically, cause what it was set up is that there were only 5 meetings that we were, and I guess what that, I just was told that was a minimum, but I was under
I
the
thought 4
understanding,
was the minimum.
okay, that I was under the understanding we could only do so many meetings a month, or a year.
Right,
But I guess that was our minimum.
and I think a lot of it though too in the winter months, cause people leave for
Yeah.
I'm gone January, February, March, and I can't, Zoom is not allowed.
Right, yeah.
So it
So it's
was
just
to make
easier
sure
not
we
to
had a,
have meetings.
Right.
January,
Yeah.
February, and
I mean,
March.
I
Yeah.
think until we get this master plan hammered out, so we can be done with it, we don't need to necessarily have public meetings. We can have work sessions.
yeah,
Absolutely.
And then
Right.
have
I'm
a
down with
public,
that.
whenever we get it done.
yes,
We can say, we have a public meeting coming up, Bob post it, do all the stuff, so we can vote on it, make it all
Absolutely.
legal
right,
at the time. So there's really no point in having
Right.
public comment on what we do.
Until it's done.
Basically, we're not really doing anything, we're not voting on anything, we're trying to get all our ducks in a row before we present it to the public.
Right.
Correct,
So there's,
I get it.
so I think work sessions, basically, if you wanna call them that,
Absolutely.
make a lot more sense. And then we still hit our minimum for the public meetings for the year.
Right.
And we can have work sessions whenever we want, we don't have to post them, we don't have to do any of that stuff.
Right. We don't all five have to be together for those.
Anytime you have two members of the board, you have a quorum,
Okay.
or the commission, so you have to have at least two members present.
Okay.
It's not something you really wanna do if you can't help it,
Right.
but if something has to get done and it's,
And only two of
February,
you can do
something
it?
happens and we have to pass something.
Mm-hmm.
If me and Jason are the only two that can show up because it's a blizzard, we can do it just to get it done.
Right. I need to check it while we're doing this calendar stuff. We're doing the 4th Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just gonna tell y'all now, the 25th, I won't be here. I have, MAPT conference.
Yeah, that's the thing,
For
'cause
work.
I got some, I don't know what the dates are, but we're supposed to be going to West Virginia, to the Hatfield McCoy Trails.
You
and
know,
all
I'm in
that.
Hatfield.
Yeah, so like I don't know exactly what the dates are, we're gonna be gone, and I know one of the meetings I won't be here, cause I'll be at that, so.
I mean, I probably won't be here the 25th, honestly, either.
So do we wanna
I don't
skip
know how that's-
June and maybe try to get together and do like a workshop on some other day?
So we can do workshops, work sessions whenever we decide as a group to do them.
right,
So I mean, I don't know how far along, like I see obviously we're in the master plan a little bit, but I don't know how far through it you guys have actually got.
So last that I knew, what you see is what we've got.
Okay.
we've gotten all of it read, and,
It was painful.
yeah, and kind of going through, but we now are seeing what was put together.
Which I think he did a great job on it.
Because all I have, unless I have some, I only have,
He only got like the first chapter
I
of
have
it done.
14 pages. Is that what he's?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So, but
So
we
is
had
there-
started through, yeah, we had gone through each of the others. There is, it looks like there is one more than if they both got
How many
theirs
pages do you
too.
have?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to
14?
mine. Thank you.
Yeah,
My dog might have ate it
Yeah,
for all I know.
Yeah, see, this was the original one. I got this like 2 months ago.
Oh, gotcha.
Wondered if the office open?
Oh, so you've got.
I haven't checked my
Oh,
mailbox
here it
yet.
is, then start that, yeah, that's his.
Is this the one we're done with?
Is
Ready?
that the original master plan, or is, this is what he's putting together, is that what?
So this one I got from Bob about 2 months ago,
Okay,
whenever that was. So I don't know how far along.
yeah, there's more.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, so there's,
I mean, I would think until we can get the master plan done and settled, we should probably do one every month, at least try to. And
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be the fourth Tuesday for work sessions.
no.
So we could do a work session whenever we want, just to try to hammer this thing out and get
Okay.
it done with.
So do we wanna set a time for our work session then, while we're all here with calendars?
So after the 20th of June, I'm probably, that week and the week after, I'm probably not gonna be feeling like doing much.
No, I've
I'm
got MAPT and then straight into Fleros,
having my
so.
shoulder done on the 20th, so.
Yeah, no,
it's
you're
kinda-
not gonna wanna do anything.
Oh,
June?
Yeah, Paul's doing his on,
So, do we wanna do it like the second, you guys wanna do it like the second week of June sometime?
Yeah, that works for me.
So what are you thinking, like 11th, 12th?
I'm free after work whenever, at 6 o'clock whenever. I don't have anything
So-
scheduled, so it's really up to what works for you guys.
Our last day of school
Well,
is what, the
I know,
6th?
you have a
So
board meeting.
I'm
Yeah,
open
which is
after
the
that.
10th.
Are you doing my Mondays?
Wait, that's the
You're the
11th. So, the 12th, it has to be on the 12th then, if you guys wanna do a work session. which is like the day after the board meeting.
Right. I mean, I would think that would probably be our best course of action.
Either
for
10th or
June.
12th, yeah. At least, if we do it on the 12th, then Jason
Well,
will be
the-
like, we actually got some work done.
Well, the 10th is the board, or the 11th is the board meeting, so.
So do we wanna do the 12th at 6 o'clock in June?
Hi, I'm gonna call you after the meeting.
You wanna do it before or after the meeting?
After, I don't wanna, Mondays are hectic.
We can do it on the 12th. We can do it on 12th, 6.
12, 6.
Cause what we're doing doesn't really need to go back to the board really for work sessions, you know? It
Right,
doesn't-
we're
Right.
just
There doesn't
doing
need to be
our
a
thing.
report on it.
Yeah.
We're doing it at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yep.
I will make that motion for a work session. You don't need a motion for
I'm
that.
gonna need a number to contact somebody, cause I'm gonna have to double check to make sure there's not a rental that night.
Oh,
Here.
yeah, to use the
Oh,
building. Yeah, is that their card night? Do they do cards?
So we can do work sessions outside. We don't have to be in the building.
I have a
Or
bar.
we could do, didn't we do the work session in the office? the
We can do
one
them in the
time?
office, yeah.
Yeah, we did that one day.
Because it's
Yeah.
not open to public, so it's
Right.
not, we don't have to do it in this
Right.
room.
Okay.
I mean, if that's not gonna work, it's not gonna work, but,
Let me find out, can we change this?
yeah, if it doesn't work, we can figure
Let
something
me
out.
find out what the building schedule is
Mhm.
in that, for that week.
Yeah.
And then go from that, and then we can pick a time.
Mhm.
Would that be fine?
That works for us. I mean, that works for me.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll do that.
Like tentatively, we'll just say the 12th, and if it's something we have to change it, we can change it.
okay.
Okay.
I think we need to get this master plan done kind of deal. I mean, we were dealing with it the last time I was doing this.
Yeah, let's.
The other, the one thing might be, if we moved it to that Thursday, Bob could possibly join us. Cause he sort of holds what Ben's up to.
Right, that does make
So
sense.
possible Thursday?
Yeah, so that
Okay, so
Thursday the
that's-
The
13th,
The
13th.
13th, okay.
and we
So
could
we'll
have
just change it to the
Bob,
13th then.
yeah,
Yeah.
we could have Bob join us. Does that work?
I'm having a kid the 26th, so as long as before that.
Congrats.
Number 3's not important.
Did you say you're having a kid?
Yeah, number 3.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, I'm gonna have to put you in a box and I'm gonna have to sell you if you're having a kid.
So what's really funny is the last workshop we did just came up on my stuff, and it was on June 13th last year.
Was it?
Yeah,
That's funny.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Okay.
So,
I remember when your mom was having you guys, 'cause
trying to,
I was pregnant around this age.
Oh, really?
hey, Doc,
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I'll be the one to tell you, the third one is the most spoiled and gets away with the most.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, because by the time the third one comes around, you're over it. You're like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Basically.
I'm already feeling
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
That's
well, with the first child, they never get the chair to the table to get to the sugar bowl. The second child, they might get the chair there. The third child, you're going, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, I'll clean it up later. Or you're telling the oldest one, go get your brother.
Old business.
Okay, moving on. No kidding.
So, just so we can kind of catch up, what was the vision for the master plan? Like, what, are we just waiting on, does Ben kind of have everything we're looking to put in it, just waiting on him to do it? Are we figuring out, like, what we want to put in it? Where are we at?
So being brand new to all of it last year, I didn't see where there was a direction to anything.
So part of it was to simplify the language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
that was
because that
the
is,
big-
it's a very painful
Yeah.
read.
Oh, yeah.
It
And
was,
I don't think we need a whole book.
It's to simplify it so someone who reads it can actually comprehend what's going on there and enjoy
Right.
it, you know?
Right.
Versus fall asleep and.
Yeah, I mean, really, a master plan is what we want to do, what we're looking towards
Right.
future building, the
Right.
history of it, the economics of it, you know, that type of stuff, and move on with it. Because the master plan doesn't really have any legal
Right.
binding to it. It's just
Right.
kind of,
It's a guide.
right?
yes, it
it's just-
does. Yeah.
So
because your zoning pulls off of your master
Right.
plan, and so there's definitely
They
some,
have to match up with each other. They
Right.
have to, the zoning has to follow what the master plan
Yeah.
says. I guess
Yeah.
I said that wrong.
yeah. So
It's not an ordinance book. That's not what it's for.
right,
Right.
no, but it's what helps to drive the ordinances.
Yeah.
Because if in your master plan you say we want a high rise on Main Street,
Mhm.
but yet we don't,
You don't zone
there's
for
nothing,
it.
yeah, we're not zoned for it, we
Yeah.
don't, then we've got a problem,
Yeah.
so.
I said I misspoke on that one.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
And part of it is master plans have become more important because life is changing. People are moving north, because land value is better than the cities, even though we don't feel like it's that good a value maybe. But, kind of being prepared for that, having somebody come in and say, well, yeah, I don't see a reason I can't do that. And so being able to kind of see that vision of what our community is, and we do have to have, Manistee County is doing their master plan right now.
Mhm.
And they've done one public meeting, they've done 2 of their public meetings. The Bear Lake one and the Calivo one are done. They will be doing one more that is by invitation. I will get that, I think I sent that date out. Did you guys get my email?
I haven't gotten any
don't think I
emails
did.
from anybody.
Okay. All right, so that might be to kind of see, but we need to get Mary Riley back, which might be good. Mary Riley she did our master plan training last year in April. She's with the Cooperative Extension.
Oh, yeah,
And-
I did one with her.
Yeah, and we have
She came in and did the board and.
right,
Yep.
we have a contract with her, because we're probably wanting to talk about when we're gonna do our public meeting. Cause we need that public input as we're
Yeah.
working on that. So, maybe that's something that we could look at. Probably, I think anybody wants to set for July. If we're having her come in, maybe August or September, she comes, but that bumps back the public, but we could have a lot of it done.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but yeah, it was kind of the vision, and then staying with, what else did we wanted, the reality is we're not gonna be a community that has we're not gonna do public water.
Right.
We're probably not gonna put in sidewalks, so
No, we
We're
wanna
gonna
keep
be-
our little small community the way it is.
we wanna be a tourist kind of destination, but not
Overly tourist.
overly tourist, so that's kind of the communication, but the main thing was to get the reading clear,
Right, yeah.
so.
So are we writing it and giving it to Ben?
I don't think any of us have wrote any part of it yet.
Well, Jill,
I'm just trying to figure out how it's working,
yeah, what had happened is Jill had felt like she had a handle on putting it together, writing it. And so over the winter, she was gonna continue to do that, but there was a conversation with whether or not the township would pay her to do that, and that's separate from us.
That's a board
And,
thing,
yeah, so, it didn't happen
right?
in that way, so, Ben, but there was also some confusion of whether or not the office had time to do it.
Right.
And, but they are doing, Ben is working on it, he's
Okay.
excited about it.
When is
So-
Ben here?
Ben's here on Fridays.
On Fridays?
It would be nice to,
What time, what's his office hours? 12 to 2, 12 to 4, something like that?
9 to 4.
9 to
Four.
4,
Yeah, I think Friday's the day he's here all day.
yeah.
9 to 4,
Okay.
9 to 5, somewhere in there.
And he, I mean, they're doing a lot more out right now, cause of, tis the season, there's no snow and we can see what properties look like.
Right.
So, the other zoning part of it. I kind of thought with the master plan too is really, I guess when I look at Norman, the blight and having strong in our master plan so that our zoning laws are written accordingly.
So
For
I am
ordinances.
actually starting, a thing called Luston Helping Hands. I'm in talks right now with Excel Luston to go under their, nonprofit license. And that is to go to a lot of these homes and places, because I think a lot of the blight, unfortunately, is elderly or depression. It just got overwhelmed and now it's out of line or out of hand. So my idea is to go in, clean up the yards, get them taken care of, and so that the homeowner can have a grip on it. And then if they don't have a grip on it after that, then it's up to the powers that be to take care of it from there.
That's cool.
Yes. I don't know, I can find out on Thursday. There were dollars, I passed that information on.
Yep.
The dollars to help Manistee County residents. And it was, the difference in this grant was that it helped the resident to clean up their property, to pay for the dumpster. They just had to be willing to do the process.
Yep.
So I can check on Thursday to see if that money's still available. I know
Awesome.
that I had that, I think it was last summer, I think I shared it, but I'll
Yeah.
double check that it's,
Yeah, cause I said that, you sent me an email on that and I forwarded it to Richard.
yeah,
Yeah, and then, the long-term vision on it is, we do have a lot of elderly, grandpa can't come home until there's a ramp put on the house so he can be with grandma. But they don't have the money to, so Wellstone Helping Hands at that point would come in and put a legal ramp on so grandpa can spend his days with grandma. Kind of thing.
nice. That would be good if that
Yeah.
can get happening. And this isn't unique to Norman Township as far as the blight, it's all over and,
Absolutely.
and making those connections too, with, I know Habitat is starting to do ramps now too.
Mhm.
And so having some of those connections that Norman is connecting with those Manistee County connections
Yeah,
as
I've seen a lot
opposed
of
to.
pictures of Steve Rogers building those.
Yes.
They're all over the
Yes.
place.
You probably remember Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what, I guess I would like to know, I know what, my overall vision of what I would like to see Norman Township be 10 years from now, or, the Norman Township that I wanna leave to my kids and my grandkids. I know what I want to leave to them. I guess I'm kinda curious as to know what y'all wanna leave to them.
So,
I think that would help all of us in writing this master plan.
if you look at it, over the last 30 years, and I don't think anybody can disagree, the township has just kind of gone downhill.
Absolutely.
A lot of that is we don't have the tourism dollars coming in anymore, I think. So we need to get back to a place where, we're never gonna have billion-dollar factories here or any of that infrastructure. It's not gonna happen.
No.
So we gotta build it on people being able to live here, make a living here, and staying in the community. How do we do that? Well, we gotta get back to getting the tourism dollars back into the community. I think a lot of that is personal opinion. I don't know how who's gonna agree with me, but I think a lot of it is COVID obviously didn't help. It is
No.
what it is. But I think a lot of it is blight. The township has, I don't wanna say it's gone downhill in appearance and all this stuff, things. If you're coming up here to go to salmon season, you're gonna come up here or you're gonna go, somewhere downriver where it's cleaner, where it's nicer.
Right.
Well, everywhere you go here, every block has something.
Right.
Yeah.
Every block.
I think
And
so.
It's old.
I think our master plan.
Absolutely.
I think our master plan has to set up to deal with the blight. I don't think we need HOA laws.
See,
I think that's a big
I
break.
was always told, out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see it, no one worries about it. But when you go down the road, you're like, oh, look at that,
And you can't see people's yards because everything's.
Well, when you go to the Four Corners right there.
I'm
and see-
just, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's kind of where I see it is.
it's everywhere you go.
Setting up the master plan to deal with the issues we have and moving forward so they don't happen again, and try to bring those tourism dollars back into the community. so you don't have people leaving to find work.
Right.
You know, we're gonna be a bedroom community for Cadillac and Manistee. We're going to be. We need to get back to being that type of township,
And,
is what I think.
I agree.
and the reality is with that, you know, it kind of, like we have a countywide transportation system under Dial-A-Ride. We pay taxes into that, but our Dial-A-Ride is once in the morning and once at night. And if you go into Manistee, okay, you're gonna use the Dial-A-Ride, you go in, you're gonna run errands. Every time you get on and off that bus, you're paying a fee. So it's not like, you know, it's an easy way. So I
Accessible,
think
right.
it's also looking at, you know, if you're gonna live out here and you need public transportation, that's something too. How do we improve that? How do we make that connection?
Absolutely.
You know, that, and it's one thing if it's a nice day and you get dropped in town and you wanna run around, that's one thing, but when it's in the wintertime, you know, and you're dropped in, or you have an appointment, you know, coming from, you know, as a clinician in mental health, then there was nothing more irritating than Dial-A-Ride couldn't get people there on time, even though the people had called, made their, scheduled their appointment and not getting them into the office, cause then that cut into their time because I couldn't give them that extra, you know, 20 minutes that they were late after, you know,
Right.
so, I think that, how do we make it work for people who live here, but also knowing that they're gonna work elsewhere?
And there's
Yeah, we
no
can-
simple answer to that.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I mean, we can get to Manistee, but we all know that the better paying jobs are in Cadillac, so getting people from here to Cadillac is a big hassle.
I think a lot of it has to do with the economic downturn of the township. I think a lot of it is that. And then it snowballs, you know, so. But I think we set our master plan up to deal with those issues. Moving forward, we don't currently have those issues again, so hopefully we can start getting the township back to the way it used to be.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that's how I see the master plan going.
Right.
One of the things that has come back into it is we're talking, you know, that whole tourist and, you know, it's our natural resources.
Yeah,
We now have, the Forest Service has moved back
Right.
here, and when you're putting in, a planning commission, one of the, folks who regularly speak at planning, meetings a lot of times, I know for the county, that we would have a Forest Service person give us an update. And kind of let us know, this is what we're doing here, this is what we're, and so starting to get some consistency with that too. That, you know, we're very easy for them to get to now.
Right, yeah.
You know? And getting an update of what's going on in our township. If they're gonna cut trees, or we know they're not gonna treat certain things, hearing that directly from them. And I can pass those sheets on, but to me, it's like, they shouldn't have to be passed on, they should become directly
right.
to us. So that's talking township,
Yeah.
you know, tourist.
Mhm.
That's another place I see it.
So,
Doug, any thoughts?
I'm taking it in.
Okay,
This is one of my first meetings I've ever been to.
okay.
yeah.
So I did read the whole master plan before though.
Did you fall asleep?
I actually enjoy this stuff. I do code stuff. So
Okay, so you're, yeah,
I've got like, my code for propane's like this thick. And I do codes for like construction of tanks and all kinds of stuff, so.
Oh, so that's right up your alley.
Yay.
I'm the weird one that likes this.
Okay.
This,
So-
this
so-
looks a lot nicer though.
So you're the
Yeah.
one when we try to simplify something, you're gonna be the one going, no.
Well, I'm also good at explaining stuff to my wife.
Okay.
So I think there's definitely a way you can simplify things
Okay,
and still
good.
make it detailed.
Good, I agree, I absolutely agree. We don't need, 5 whole chapters on what types of Indians were here, 200 years ago.
2 is fine. 2 chapters.
2 chapters.
2 seconds.
Well, and
Yeah.
if you get a chance, it should be, I think it's probably posted now, probably on their webpage. Calava did their master plan and on an update on that, and I think that's one worth reading. So, and it has, when the master plan gets done too, one of the things that does happen is it does go through another reading by the county commission, which, you know, I want us to get an A before it gets there. I wanna make sure we have all our T's crossed, just on a selfish reason, but, I also won't have a vote in that.
Right.
When it comes there, that would be a
Right.
conflict
Yeah, it
of
could be a
interest to me,
conflict.
but I am, you know, I Calava's, and what, you know, I mean, what feedback they got, I can, you know, I'm more than willing, and that's,
Right.
I've talked to them, I can share any of that, and any master plans when they're done. We've had a couple that we kinda like that we used for formats. But I think, and then, Rutherford is going through it right now, and Northwest is doing theirs. So they may be having a public meeting coming up soon, and that might be
Northwest
worth
was-
our while.
I believe Northwest was just at our board meeting last month,
Yeah,
explaining how all that works.
yeah, I think Zach here, Mike?
Yeah.
Mike was here, right?
Yeah, one, yeah.
I got a question. So the master plan is still in effect, right?
Yes.
We didn't
Yes.
throw this plan out,
No.
it's still in
No.
effect. All we're doing is
Making it
refreshing it,
easier.
updating it.
Right.
How often does this process happen? I see this is 2015.
You have
Is
to,
it every 10
you
years?
have to review it every 10 or 5.
5 years you review, I think
5
10 you
years.
have to.
10 years you rewrite or
Yeah.
update it.
So every 5 years, you have to go through and say, we looked at it, there wasn't, like, we needed to change a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You submit it and, you know, you go through the process. Every 10 years, you have to go through it and update, you just update it, make it, you know. So we're in that update phase. Am I-
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we, you know, wrote one that only ever had to be updated. Oh, well, tourism is up, so how do we keep that? And that's the only thing that has to be done, you know, that would be wonderful.
And if you set a good master plan up, you can go back in every 5 years, update your graphs, update your data,
Right,
Right,
and basically just, okay, yeah, we're good.
absolutely.
And that's kind of what we need to get to with this, as opposed to this where
right,
it's
Right.
just impossible.
So our goal is to try and identify what is stopping us from having more tourism, and then identify those problems, and then figure out a way to write that into here so that
Right,
it like trickles down into the community.
right. So your master plan sets up. Your master plan sets up how you want your regulations basically to follow. They have to follow suit with each other. So that's basically what your master plan is. You give history of the township, all
Small
these things,
history.
you know, details, what you see the future, how you want the future growth to be, and then those have to be in line with your regulations. So,
and it also details that are in there that people may wanna go in and read that detail. You don't lose that, you just tell people where to go to find
Right.
it. You don't put it in the new, you know, that, we're not gonna give all that history, but you can still
This is
go
where you
back
can
and
find
here's
it.
where it is. So we don't throw out any of that either. So,
Just put it in a different place.
yeah,
so
Because okay, so our master plan, it goes, tourist people read these, right? They like pick them up and check them out and,
Do they?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. Like, who reads the master plans
I've
besides
never
us?
been asked about the master plan from anybody besides the people on the commission or the board or the random 5 or 6 people that are really, really involved with the politics of the community.
Okay,
I've never had anybody ask me about a master plan other outside of those 3 groups of people.
I think anyone's ever came into the office and said, can I get a copy of
No.
your master plan?
I've had a lot of people ask me, what's a master plan?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's there, it just tells you, yeah.
You know, your history, your future growth, how you want things to go.
That's what I've told them.
So where,
So, oh, minutes, we probably,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, I'm sorry.
It says I was unexcused at that meeting. How can I be unexcused if I wasn't told about it? And I was sick.
Which one?
October I was still sick, very sick.
So we actually have to go in and approve, yeah, we have to get those minutes approved correctly from October.
October 30th?
Yeah,
I wasn't here, so.
I was in the hospital.
yeah, it was just three of us. You weren't putting pumpkins out that night?
No.
So you, okay, cause that's where,
October 30th?
yeah,
That
No.
was the pumpkin night.
that was the pumpkin night, cause, the sense was at the meeting, I hadn't talked to you, but the understanding was that, we'd set it so that you were gonna be in town and you would be available, cause we had to move the meeting. It wasn't our typical meeting night, so, and quite frankly, members here or not here, I mean, this whole unexcused we're not in school anymore,
Right.
Yeah,
you know, I struggle with that language,
I saw that and I wasn't real thrilled with that.
yeah,
Things happen, it's
Yeah.
not, you don't need a
It's
doctor's
right.
note to get it excused,
Yeah.
you know?
so, and that's one of the areas, I think for the next time we actually have a meeting, then we take and look at a couple of the areas of the bylaws to clean up in terms of that, but, yeah.
So,
Motion to approve.
And I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Like,
I,
well, that's on you, you write that down.
oh, that's me.
That's right, that's you, it was
Approved minutes.
unanimous.
Yeah. And the nice thing is, you can put discussion, but unless there's action taken on it, you don't have to give any details.
No, you just say discussion was had about
The master
master
plan, but,
What we all envision.
yeah,
I said, and I can help you write
Yeah.
that up, this first one up, Doug, too, if you wanna, you
Okay.
know what I'm saying? It's not,
yeah, and Bob will too.
yeah, Bob,
Yeah.
you give Bob the highlights and he'll, you know,
Yeah, he'll put it
tell
together.
you what you need, what you don't need, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob's really helpful with stuff like that. Remember, I had to do a couple, and I was like, Bob, I don't know how you want this, and he just kinda worked with me.
And I'm new
And then they go,
to
that looks good.
all
Yeah.
kinds of government, but
So
boy, am
that could
I
be- yeah,
throwing
cool, thanks,
myself in there.
So, I guess my question is, chapter 1 is done, correct?
I'm fine with chapter 1, the way he did it. It was short, sweet, to the point,
That it is.
I mean, it's obviously, well, that's the whole.
and covered like almost everything.
So I haven't seen the updated one yet, so I have the blank one that says figures, tables, maps. No, it doesn't have anything in it.
I don't think I even know.
No,
This one does.
oh, yeah, he was playing around with it, yeah, we hadn't had it.
So Ben did all this?
Pulling from some of the
Right.
scribbling out that we did. I do have a very marked up master plan.
I have. I do have chapter 2. I don't know if anybody else have chapter 2.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I do not.
We're special.
yeah. I just stole the one that was on the table.
does anybody have access to the copier? We can make copies of those.
I don't know if that is open. I don't. Anybody?
No, it's not open.
not. No, I'm going to get my mailbox too. But. So let's. pass it around, but everybody's actually gotta read it and look at it, so it's not really effective, you know?
Yeah. Do you have a
I can
key
get
for
it.
the office?
I don't,
Oh, okay,
no, I don't.
alright.
Used to,
Yeah,
don't no more.
Yeah.
okay. I think Bob thought you did.
No,
but-
not as a, when I was a custodian, I did,
Oh, yeah, right.
but yeah, I don't.
So,
Well, this ten
I can
guy,
get a
he's
copy
right
of
across
it.
the yard.
Friday,
listen, I'll talk to Bob, I'll email Bob or Ben or whoever, and see if they can email these out to you guys, so we all have them, and we have updated copies. So that way come back in our work session in June, we have an idea what we're looking at, and we can make changes to it at that point.
can't lose it that way.
I am awful with email. It would be better to print it out and I can come in and grab it.
Well, I'll email Bob, see if he can email it to us and print them all, put them in our mailboxes, so that way we have a physical copy as well.
Okay.
So that's kinda what I would say, is I'll talk to Bob, get these out, we'll get them in our mailboxes, get them emailed, and when we come back in
Chapter
June,
two.
we can work on chapter 2 with what Ben's got so far.
Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
Is there still gonna be 7 chapters? Is every chapter already like, chapter 1 is always this topic and chapter 2 is
Doesn't
already 8
have to
chapters?
be, but
I
there's
think we were
formats they
talking about-
use.
Yeah, I think we were looking at trying to
I'm getting at
get
like,
it
it's
down.
They're
We're
just
not
going
got
from
one
like 80
chapter.
pages
Yeah.
down to like 7
not gonna get
pages.
it done in time.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Actually, I think the current master plan's 180, Jason, not 80.
180 pages? I think it's more than that. There's 165?
No, Lord.
165,
165 pages.
165 pages.
Here's what we did when we started, what we were reviewing, larger font is the other thing, using more color graphs, simpler language, and then the summary vision statement. And then using a full page rather than the 2-column format.
Right.
So that was kind of,
So is the zoning ordinance is separate from the master plan, right?
Correct.
Well, 165 page thing is zoning ordinance. Yeah. The
Yeah.
master plan is just that first part of this book.
yeah.
But there's 8 chapters as of right now.
Very painful chapters.
I don't see why we couldn't
I'm
cut
sorry,
it
but
at
yeah.
least in half.
Absolutely.
At least in half, if
Yeah.
not more.
If not, yeah.
But, so just because, like I said, I'm new to this time, Doug's new this time, we're trying to figure out where we're at, what we're doing. I think what Ben's got for chapter 1 works. I don't see
I
any
do too.
issues with it. And a lot of these, I shouldn't say a lot, but some of these pages are just the chapter, what it's gonna talk about, it's not an actual get into the meat of it. So I think chapter 1 compared to what we had is a massive improvement, personally.
Absolutely.
So I say, what I would think,
Keep chapter 1 the way it is.
keep chapter 1 the way it is,
And move on to chapter 2.
and move on to chapter 2, see where we're at with chapter 2, you know, all that stuff. Let's
Yep.
come back, 'cause I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet, Doug doesn't, nobody has chapter 2 yet, so we can't really do anything with it.
Right.
Let's come back at the meeting in June, either the 12th or the 13th, depending on, tentatively the 13th, if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, let us know.
Right, well, as of right now, we're set for the 13th
Yep.
at 6.
If we
Yeah,
have
so
to
that
move
we've
it.
got Bob here.
Correct.
If we have to move it, let us know,
Okay.
and we'll figure something out. Like I said, it doesn't, since it's
Well,
not
right, well,
doing,
Bob's gonna be here on the 13th, and we can just do it in the office.
yeah, we can do.
That's
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
anyway.
Do it
So
on
let's
the
do
Just
that.
plan on,
Thursday,
Yeah.
13th at 6.
And he might even have 3 then to pass to us that
Right.
night,
Right.
so then we can be getting ready to,
Yeah, we can come back and do it all.
yeah.
So let's do that, and being, like I said, being that it's not a public meeting, if we have to change the date, we can, since we don't have to post it.
Right.
so there's no issue there.
And we will post, because we did set that we would be meeting that fourth Tuesday, so we will post that there is no meeting on June
For
25th.
June,
Right.
Okay,
no meeting for June, just a workshop.
Just a work
just
session.
the workshop.
Anybody have anything else they wanna talk about, anything?
I
that
don't
we
know if
should
it's gonna
know
help
you caught up
anybody or not,
on?
but I drive a school bus and I asked some of my teenagers what they were planning on doing after graduation. I have two that wanna go off to college and all of the rest of my teenagers from freshmen up want to stay in this area. And I asked them why. And they said because they can't hunt and fish anyplace else like they can here. So I think that that's gonna be a big driving force to bring tourism back as well.
The problem with the hunting, the fishing, it's not.
You gotta have it.
It's not year round.
Not township,
Yeah.
well, it's not a township thing, a lot of that is state or federal property,
It is.
so there's not,
It
like,
is, but why couldn't we do things to make it more township oriented, friendly?
Because the township's not in charge of
yeah, we have
those
no
rules.
control over any of that
No, not
state
the
or.
rules, I mean, more welcoming, there we go, more
Right,
welcoming.
Okay,
But the reality is, for them to stay here and hunt and fish, they've gotta have a way to support it. And so they've still gotta look at what their employment's gonna be and how can they have that happen here and keep their dream of hunting and fishing, because there's a lot of people who end up coming up to do their dream of hunting and fishing after they've retired. You know, we have a large retirement community in
We
this
do,
area.
we do, and I think we need to appeal more to the younger ones, to bring them in.
So, but then it's looking at how are they gonna afford that to, you know, what is their employment going to be here? And the other thing that's hanging out there, if Tippy Dam is no longer, that would definitely change
Absolutely.
for the communities, so, you know, and it's highlighting what we have, what we can offer, you know. Housing, I think, is a biggie too, that we wanna kind of look at in this master plan. How are we gonna, I mean,
There's a big thing on little houses.
what's a little house, I'm sorry.
Like less than 800 square feet little houses.
Yeah, like those little tiny
Tiny
storage,
house. Well, they're like 700 square feet.
yeah.
And right now, you gotta have 780. I didn't believe is what it is now, in order to build.
And 2.5 acres. Right?
Is it,
Yeah, it's 2.5 acres.
Jesus.
yeah.
And what
There's-
acreage is selling for here, it's kind of high.
Yeah.
COVID drove those property prices way through the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Um,
those will all be good discussions as we move into that chapter of it then.
yeah. So, anybody have anything else? Anything?
Does Jason, do you have anything from the township that you wanted to tell us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the only thing with township is, we got a new swing set put in and, over there at the park. And we're gonna start looking at our options for fixing the retaining wall at the beach.
And that swing set, I am just amazed. I didn't realize there were so many little ones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's
That
just being
park is-
used.
It's busy.
It is busy and
It's great.
a lot of them are grandchildren, I think. I'm making assumptions. I mean, okay, if they look about my age and they've got little
Right.
ones, chances are their grandparents bring, you know. Our grandson is very excited because now there's swings. He looked at the play set before and said, well, where's the swings? And now he's
Yeah, they're there.
wanting to go check them out.
My kids love it. What I love is that it's away from the beach.
Yeah.
Because you have like the older kids that
And I
are
know we're gonna
going
look in,
bananas on the beach, and my kids aren't having to hear all that.
right, we're gonna look into putting a pavilion on that side too.
Oh,
On
nice.
this side?
Okay.
Is there any way to make a walkway? It's not on the road.
That is, that's in the works.
Okay.
That's a thing that they've been trying to they get together for the last few years, so that's in the works.
Who's like heading that up?
Um,
The individual, or with the township, or is it like the Excel Wellston, or? is it
no,
like
it's
a-
the township. They've,
Okay.
they've been trying to figure out the best route to, to do, and they gotta get a grant, of course, to do it.
I
It's
think
finding a
when-
grant writer is the worst part of it.
I think like a
need to
nature
call-
path down that goes like from the little park down to like where the seaweed and it's not seaweed, but you know where all the growth is at the lake there, right on the edge, to come up around to the beach. I think that would be a very nice addition to the lake, actually.
There's money for walking paths, and there is a county grant writer that's available
Okay.
to do. I would pass out the grant writer's cards, but, the one that I have is no longer the grant writer, so I need to make the connection with the new grant writer to get that person's card, so. But we do have, and there was money, cause I know Rob Carlson was really trying to push Norman Township, to the walking trail around the lake, that there was funding for that.
Right, and that's what they were talking about that.
Yeah.
Here, like, I don't know, a month or two ago.
Yeah,
So, and I think Richard's been talking with him, and I think Jordan has been talking with him.
Yeah.
So,
so, in the other, as we're doing around the lake, the dock that was put in is supposed to be the fishing dock?
no, that's.
Okay.
So that dock is there to replace the fishing dock, because in the summer, when the lake goes down, there is no water where the dock is. And the other reason is because there were safety issues with the other dock, so that's why it came out.
Okay, but,
Probably dock came out.
The fishing dock on the other side,
That came out?
it's gone.
When did that happen?
When they put the new dock in at the boat launch.
okay, but I would not take a child on that dock fishing. I don't see it as being, that's an open dock. How do you take a little one that's curious and,
You can,
That's a
I
little
guess,
narrow dock.
my point of that is you can take them to the other one by Little Mary's, cause that's technically township property over there. And that's got a rail around it and seats and all that, and it's fishable. So, I don't know.
cause, yeah, somebody said something and I went by then and looked and went, that's not a fishing dock. That's
No,
not a
that's
fishing dock
it's a
for
regular,
kids.
it's a
That's
regular dock.
It's a regular dock, that is not a,
But I mean, you
you
can
know.
fish off of it, but like you said, there's no rails on it, which there's not,
yeah.
so, I mean,
And as an adult, yeah, you could fish off of it, but little ones don't. I mean, there's a
Oh.
big fish and you jump to go get that big fish. I mean, that, no. So, okay,
I don't know.
so, just a thought process.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm willing to be part of the problem solving too if it helps.
Is there public comment? Oh, was this a public meeting? Was this a work session?
This is a public meeting,
Was this-
yeah.
Is there
Is
any
there,
public
do you
comment?
think the town will ever put in like an actual fishing dock someday?
No,
No.
doubtful. Because I think once this other dock is to its extreme, the one that's at the beach now, it's gonna go. And they're not gonna put another one in. Because of all the problems,
The liability and the problem.
so.
Is there a time frame on that, you think, or it's gonna fail one day and not get put back in?
Well, we had to fix it last year because of the ice heaving it or whatever. Welds broke and they came in and they, fixed it and all that. But other ones, structurally, it is to the point where one of these years, it's not gonna be safe and you're gonna have to take it out. Or do something with it as it starts, popping welds.
Yeah, and if it's not safe,
Well,
that's
then
a
we can
township
certify
liability.
culverts.
Yeah, Well, I walked on it last year, that's how I found out it was not right, cause I walked out there and I walked out the other edge and I'm like, stand like this, and I'm like, wow, that's kinda weird, and I inched my way that way, and the thing's going like this, and I'm like, yeah, let's back up a little bit, you know? Yeah, the whole thing was broke apart, and, then you go in and, bolt the one back in, and then they welded it all back, and what they don't understand is when they put that dock in, why it wasn't bolted too. So. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know what the complete thing is on it, but I, I just know that when it does, if they don't decide to fix it as it breaks, then it would come out.
Yeah. I do remember when it was a beach without a dock.
Me too.
Really?
And there was still,
I can remember when there was green buildings down there.
Green buildings?
Yeah, bathing, for like changing and all that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a good idea, actually.
they had those right on the beach. When I was a kid in the 80s. And then
Is there any pictures
his
anywhere
uncle
of
ripped them all down.
back then?
He would.
Well, no, they wanted them gone, cause they're actually underneath the, church parking lot as backfill. Along with, that's why it keeps sinking. There's stumps and they used anything for backfill when they made that parking lot.
Nice.
so,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Country ingenuity.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
I don't have
I
nothing.
don't have anything.
I will make a motion to adjourn at 7:05.
I will second that.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Unanimous.
I
You and I have-
just had two